Welcome to Frost, the setting of a brand new best of 3 for the WCS EU Qualifier number 3. I'm Rifkin, joined today by Zombie Grub. Sadly, this will probably be her last game. Last year she cast today, but it's a good one, guys, because spawning here in the lower left, the blue Protoss player from XMG, ToD.
The top left, as the green Zerg, it is Elroye.
So the clan Nuit Blanche, it's a team that a lot of you probably have not heard of, but has been very proactive in the weekly cups. Whether it's go for StarCraft, Zotax, we've seen him and his, well, maybe not, I haven't seen Elroye so much, but I've seen his clanmates really perform quite well. I don't know a lot about Elroye, but again, it's worth noting he's gotten this far into the qualifier. We are currently 2 rounds away from actually having somebody qualify, so this round and the next round before somebody actually qualifies for WCS Challenger Season 2. So he's really close to the end. I might not know a lot about him, but he got here, and that's rather impressive just in and of itself.
Yeah, I guess I could have looked at who he faced on his way here.
I know he just got out of a match with King Cobra. I don't know who else he had run-ins with getting here, but Goody was one of the ones he took out right away. That's actually TVZ, no less. Yikes! I'd say go Elroye.
Yeah, so that's actually pretty good.
ToD is the man, though. He doesn't need a lot of building up. It's kind of cool. He's a player, and everyone knows this. He's played since like Warcraft. He plays StarCraft professionally for a while too. He's even casting. And one of the things about ToD is I don't know if he's just antsy, bored, felt the need to get proactive, maybe wanted to win a couple bucks on the side, but he's actually started playing in a lot of go for StarCrafts lately. He's even won a weekly or two, so he's not just been sitting on the sidelines casting and casually playing. He is still very much a proactive gamer.
Yeah, I think he is the best player caster we have right now.
Yeah, I think that's actually about accurate. I mean, Rotterdam's pretty good, and so is Nathanius, but I think ToD's the only one who's really been on that true competitive level, you know? Nothing to, again, not trying to take away from ToD, or sorry, Nathanius or Rotterdam, but it's really been ToD who's the one competing here, almost qualifying. If he does qualify, that'll be amazing. He did qualify last year, too, if I'm not mistaken, if I recall.
I think he did. I think he lost out in round of 32.
Yeah, so I mean, it's not like this is his first pony show either, or first rodeo.
Yeah, it's always nice too to hear him. You know, you not only get the knowledge of the actual game from listening to him and watching him, but you know his interviews are pretty funny when he always talks about the difficulties of caster and player, and you know what he prefers and what he's learned from it too. It's pretty interesting. No other caster or player turned casters really talked about it like that, because they literally usually choose one or the other.
I gotta be honest too. When I first started listening to ToD, I was a little off put by the French accent, but it grows on you very quickly.
Yeah, it does. I always like the French accent though, so I was.
Well, the French accent, like it, I don't think there's any accent that works better with being astonished than French. So when something like when ToD like gets surprised during his cast, I'm always like, yeah, he's French.
Yeah, they're pretty good.
But he will finally get the scout off on Elroye over here, so he gets to the top left. But of course, it's too late to really do anything with this. Not that he was going for cannons in the first place. But yeah, he gets up here and might, have to run away from these links. So won't quite get to see the gas counts in the main, if there's any, but we know there's not.
Well, he sees the. Oh, he didn't see the third. Oh. Whoops.
Oh wait, did he miss that? I just assumed he walked right by it, but no, he did not. Okay, I was gonna see it now, but if those links could have denied it, that would have been a huge denial of information.
Yeah, it would have made ToD very uneasy as to what could be, but seeing that really puts him at ease.
First blood.
You know, I'm really glad today we don't see a lot of players killing critters, just as a side note.
Oh, right? What's up with this yesterday or Monday?
It was happening yesterday, too. I don't know what was up. Like, Europe just hates critters in StarCraft, too. If someone, like, went through our VODs and, like, found all the points which people, like, killed the critters, I'd love to highlight that. Because you don't see it often. It's so silly. It's not a big deal, of course, but it's just like, why do it, man?
Why?
I'm kind of sad that the critters don't explode like it once used to. But hang on, actually, Mothership Core will be driven off by the Zealot. Might get a drone killer too. You know, normally this is a situation where if there's one queen, the Mothership Core and the Zealot went out over it big time, but in the end, gets about 2 drones, almost a third, almost a fourth actually with that build cancel. He might actually just let that finish though, because let's be honest, sometimes you want a Spore Crawler.
Cancels it.
Cancels it.
Yeah, so.
But yeah, do you remember like Warcraft 3 days or like the single player? You could like click on the critters a bunch of times and they explode in like a nuclear explosion.
Well, yeah, you could do that in the OBS in StarCraft 2 as well. I don't know about the nuclear explosion, but you could kill them.
No, I just remember like the first time in Warcraft, I think it was 2. It was like, "Bah, ram you," and then like a big nuke comes out on the ground.
Oh, wow. Okay, yeah, I don't know about that.
Oh man, I was cause like I was always that guy who would click on all the units to hear all the Easter eggs of all the voices they would say, and it's like I wonder if critters do this too, and lo and behold, my surprise.
Elroy's Overlord saw no gas. ToD put it down after the Overlord died. He is getting 2 more gateways, bringing up to a total of 4, and a Twilight Council.
I like this plus 1 weapons a lot, actually.
Elroy is going for double upgrade Lings. This is can be dangerous against like a 4-gate Zealot attack because you have nothing but Lings, but he's getting away with it.
Well, the problem is the plus 1 weapons is gonna be out so much sooner. If ToD actually were to go for an attack, even with just Zealots, he could easily do a ton of damage, even if it's a bunch of Lings to defend it. But it's worth noting, Elroy actually has stopped making drones for the moment, and he is investing in a ton of Lings to pair up with that 1-1.
Yeah. Well, I think he's preparing to either catch a sentries going out or completely deny the 3rd.
Well, he's poking around here. Unfortunately, not going to bait out any force fields. That's too many sentries for him to worry about wasting a force field on those Lings.
Yeah, exactly. But he has enough when he collects all of his units to try and force a cancel here. And that's exactly what he... maybe going to the natural?
If there's an opening, certainly, but the cannon's finishing up here. The Zealots there, he can warp in behind this. Sentries coming in for safety. ToD has a lot of freaking sentries out, though. These are, of course, going to have great use for the course of the game, because let's be honest, force fields, I don't think ever really go out of fashion unless Ultralists come in for the rare time. But, yeah, defending this 3rd should be completely within the realm of possibility, even force fields to keep the cannon alive.
Yeah, there's no break in that. Unfortunately for Elroy, he did dedicate, quite a bit of larva to these Lings, but still has a healthy drone count. It is going to be a Spire on the way behind this as well, so can ToD scout this? He has enough sentry energy for sure to hallucinate. Gotta make sure to see what his opponent's doing.
God, there's just so many Lings to see, and plus 1 is so close to finishing, but this attack not going to be worth it. Really should have waited for that before going for this dive. Maybe would have picked off some sentries then, but it looks like he might get 1. Not really worth it for Elroy. Doesn't even get that 1 sentry. Yikes.
He did get 2 on the other side of the attack. So
but still, 2 sentries for how many are still? 8 still available.
Yeah, it was a lot, and the push is coming. It's not like ToD was like, okay, I took care of that, let me go defend. No, he's pushing immediately afterwards. 2 more gateways are on the way as well.
I love the debate going on in chat, as a side note, about player casters, guys. We're talking about people who cast full-time. ToD, Danny, Rotterdam, that hits it. Grubby and such are really good players, and they do cast from time to time, but it's not their full-time role.
Yeah, I guess we should have specified.
Yeah, before we step on all the toes and piss a bunch of fans off. But anyways, again, the force field count is just I feel a little too high. It was kind of nice that he baited out a time warp, but I mean, ToD's got another one ready to go, and hell, he can recall if this gets hairy. But with this bridge providing such a nice choke location, I think ToD should be able to force out a good fight.
Oh, he's supply blocked. He has 1,600 minerals, and he's trying to build Mutalisk.
Oh,
and he's only building 4.
That's gonna be awkward. He abandons the base. He did establish the 4th above this, though, so it's not like he's completely screwed by losing this, but dude, don't throw away these Lings. You need everything you got. All the cannon fodder you can muster. Do not throw away these Zerglings. Overlord's going to come out to unsupply block him temporarily, but loses the Overlords right away.
That's tough. That's tough, buddy. It's rough, buddy.
It is really tough. I like that he's kind of looking to go for a counterattack. He knows he can't engage ToD head on, I think, especially with the sentry count, what it is. But let's not forget, oh, actually, I could come back. I was going to say ToD can always recall if this gets a little too scary.
Maybe try and dive on the Mothership Core and then do it?
But even then, like, is it going to be worth it? There's so many sentries to keep all these ground units out. There's just simply not enough force here. Yeah, look at the force fields going down. He is going to dive the Mothership Core. Oh, gets
no,
it!
He missed. What?
Oh my god, so 1 more hit, 4 HP, and that would cancel the recall, but so close to perhaps getting an engagement he wanted. I like where Elroy's taking his another new base, by the way. If he tried to establish the one he already had, it's risky that it will go down. He's going to build another one there anyways, but I like that he set this one up here in the top right. Now he's looking to go for a counterattack, but unfortunately, as stated before, ToD just has too many sentries for these Lings to engage with. And there's no Roach tunneling claws or anything, so the Mutalisks are the only ways to really get around above the force fields.
ToD doesn't have, Phoenixes, which are able to actively chase the Mutalisks, see where they are, and chase them. So he's got to rely on just good positioning with the Blink Stalkers.
Oh, but with the army being out of position, tried to go for the 3rd. This wall off at a ToD, though, is really nice.
Yeah, I think it's really a wall off. You don't usually see those at the 3rd.
We do have some Roaches, though. I'm surprised we don't see Elroye trying to put some on the top of the cliff. at the very least. Like, he's going for the wall, which makes sense if he was going for a full attack. He didn't know the wall was there, but... Again, trying to pick off some of these sentries. Guardian Shield does reduce the Glaive Worm bounce damage as well, so it's a really nice way to sort of shut these Mutalisks down for the time being, because there's not that clump of 20 plus. It's like barely a handful. And ToD does see this base, so warping in with the Warp Prism.
Yeah. The nice thing about that other fourth is that he can balance between ToD's natural and his fourth to defend and attack. The one in the upper right would have been great had it not gotten, discovered, but it would have been hard to defend. It should just die. Although he's keeping his army in the middle. Nah, he's moving.
Well, a couple Lings gonna dive past us, and ToD's gates are open. A little too late to warp anything in, but this isn't a lot of Lings. I don't know, this can cause some damage if ToD ignores it, but I don't think he's gonna ignore it. Yeah, Archon's coming back to respond. Actually, I don't think Archons can fit through that door, if I'm not mistaken, so the Archons won't be involved to clean this up.
Yeah, I don't think so either. Has to blink forward, but that means there's not a blink if the Mutas try and engage on the third. They don't decide to. I thought that was a prime opportunity, but
yeah,
I guess
he had
three cannons.
Yeah, he pulled the entire army out of position, and he realized this too, but I guess a little bit scared of the counterattack potential. He is being harassed up here by these Zealots, which looks like he's going to send the Mutalisks up there, but in doing so abandons this base once again.
That's why I would have preferred him trying to just make sure this one stayed alive, like let the other one die. Unfortunately, the Warp Prism didn't just stop at that fifth base. It's going to the third, and now the main.
Well, the roaches are just getting cleaned up. I don't know, Elroy's got to force that to engage this if there weren't Archons here, because the Mutalisks could take so much of this down so quickly. But that's the danger, those two Archons. If the Mutalisks clump for even a second, they're going to get annihilated.
When this army is scary when you're able to push out like this. If Elroye is like trying to balance between...
Okay, he magic boxes he takes out that first Archon, second Archon gonna fall. Now it's Blink Stalkers versus a lot of Mutalisks and Lings. The hallucinated Archons were a really cool move, but the Overseer revealed that those were fake right away. So as these Stalkers dissipate, the rest of the army gets cleaned up, and ToD loses everything in the blink of an eye.
I guess those only two Archons just wasn't enough. Maybe four, and he can't do that, but ToD takes a huge setback there. He did kill two bases. He's, Elroy's only on 3, so ToD, I don't think he's gonna give up here for sure. He needs more Archons, just constantly 2 at a time.
I mean, and that's the thing too, like all these Mutalisks are so incredibly low. There are 4 cannons there, they're gonna make this a little bit scary to engage, but the overcharge pops off and Mothership Core goes down. At this point, like, pick off the Cyber Core, I'd say. The Stalkers aren't going to be engaging the Mutalisks anytime soon directly. And if he cuts out the reinforcements, then he just overwhelms ToD. Yeah, 10 Stalkers in at a time. Whereas if he had knocked down the Cyber Core, it might be a different scenario. But there's so many cannons at each of these bases. They're not going to stop the Mutalisks, but they pick off 1 or 2. They buy him time. These 10 new Blink Stalkers coming in fresh and brand new should be able to add a little bit of damage to this. And I don't know, Elroy's getting some good damage, but is it enough to win the game?
You can't just give away all your Mutalisks. This looks so tempting because you just took a good engagement, but he just lost a lot of Mutalisks. ToD is still on 3 bases. I mean, now his probe count, actually, it wasn't even that cut. It's still at 61. I don't agree with that. I think he saw a kill move. It wasn't there. He lost a bunch of Mutalisks. Now he's also losing more drone to the third. Might even lose that third.
Zealot's doing some damage. I mean, ToD is doing work while taking a lot of damage at home, which is crazy to consider. And I don't think the economic damage... I mean, look at the workers killed. I mean, those Mutalisks, they didn't pick off any Nexus. They didn't pick up any heavy structures. They just killed army value.
Yeah, this is... It's still a... Well, I don't want to say it's... I really put a lot in ToD, honestly. He's still on 3 bases. Yeah, it's getting mined out a little bit in the main. He has good upgrades. He has a gigantic Blink Stalker force. And Elroye doesn't have a bank to replenish all those mutas. Maybe if he still had all those mutas, I'd be like, well, it's still even. But it's drastically cut.
It's this army that's so scared to engage. Like, the Archons are now coming back into play. These are going to allow the Mutalisks, or kind of sort of police the Mutalisks, I feel, but it's just not enough of them to really shut them down outright. Level 2 Zergling weapons are coming up as well. I guess upgrades were a little bit delayed here for Elroye because he had to focus so much on getting army value out, but I don't know. ToD's still got a probe up here. If he puts a pylon down, another Warpin will be on this base, and Elroye is not going to be able to split his forces.
No. It's looking pretty good for ToD. The other fourth has not been established again. Just trying to defend this one where he can, which means he can dart again between the fourth, the natural, and defend his own base. I think is the best opportunity for Elroye right here.
Dear Base Trade TV mods, I'm sorry, I have turned off slow mode and given Nathanius mod to encourage more kappas. RIP chats. All right, well, the Nexus gets peeled off here. Lings are going to run down here really quick with no Mothership Core, no blocking of this wall. Okay, Zella comes in, but perhaps a little too late. He's going to try and focus the Nexus. I think Elroy's realized he needs to do economic damage.
This is his last full mining base. The main has been mined out. The natural probably very, very low. Probably a good pickoff. I mean, he didn't lose that many units either.
It was... I mean, it's a critical way to sort of stint Todd's production, because Todd, again, like, he's been warping in 10 stalkers at a time, right? Like, that's a huge amount of money you need to be able to do that. But at the same time, Elroy's also been constantly getting attacked. As we point out, he's lost multiple hatcheries over the course of this game. I mean, Todd Zealots just seem to always find a way. I don't know how, but they're like slippery and sneaky and ninja-like.
They're like life. Well, Elroy's doing a good job getting back into this game when Todd was not attacking, but this army looks pretty darn strong. This time, a lot more Blink Stalkers than the initial, and one more Archon than that initial fight. Todd's supposed to be very careful. It is an observer, so he can't throw up the creep, and doesn't want to actually lose all these probes.
Well, still policing the map right now with these Lings, trying to make sure that there's not a lot of pylons down. It's kind of scary because Lings are normally like your, okay, I can throw these away type units, but with the way Elroy's got engaged on top of the Blink Stalkers, they actually become more and more important. Not to mention these Archons get picked off so quickly. When do you ever see Mutalisks really be this effective versus Archons, right? It's kind of silly to see, but... It's also weird that this is such a low econ for both sides of the field. Todd knows how badly he needs this 4th up, and so does Elroy, but he's lost the hatchery again to Zealot Warpins. He's just got he's barely able to keep 3 bases at any point in this game.
Todd's probably feeling pretty good. He knows that he can take on this army. Just watching Elroy try and attack without, you know, attack straight up, he's like, okay, I totally can do this.
So I don't know if that was accidental or on purpose, but Elroy like waited till the Archon had used the volley on the Lings, using the cooldown of the attack against him, used the Mutalisk then to swoop in and pick it off, where otherwise he would have taken a huge hit on those Clump Mutalisks. So whether it's accidental or on purpose, that was really cool to watch.
Todd going for the Dark Shrine is going to add a lot of punch to all of these counterattacks. He's already been doing so much damage. He's killed like 6 bases, I think, and now he can potentially get into the main and the natural and go for tech structures.
David freaking Kim. It took so long for this to become that late game DT shrine that everyone wanted it to be so badly, but it happens all the time now. That's actually a big concern I have though, because Elroy's been floating around with a lot of Mutalisks and one Overseer. Oh, that blink is huge. Gonna pick off so many of these Mutalisks. The Archons are getting into the action too. And oh my god, Elroy loses so much to this. 61 Mutalisks dead. He had an account much bigger than that. GG. That is painful. Todd, ladies and gentlemen, will take game number 1 in one very decisive, clear-cut advantage of a fight. Oh my god. Oh my Todd. Elroy, man, he had... The way he was controlling his Mutalisks up to that point was so good, too. Like, that's the worst part.
Yeah.
But, alright, that's going to be game number 1 in the favor of Todd, but it's not the last game by any means. It's a best of 3, guys, so stick around. We're going to throw in a quick, small commercial break, an emphasis on small. It's not going to be a long one, as we hop into this next game. So, thank you very much for tuning in, and we'll be back with more of the WCS Qualifiers ASAP. I also might turn slow mode back on soon.